Good evening. Hello once again, beautiful people of the world. You want to record DS footage. Loopy has still not released DS capture cards. And you don't want to play on your PC because you don't want to play on your PC, clearly. Some of you did not like my PC method, which, I don't know, maybe you just don't like playing on PC. So I have another method. You could use, now, many streamers, one of the first things they want to get is a capture card. I'm talking about an HDMI capture card. So, you might have one of these guys lying around, an HD60S, or some other capture card, whatever you have. So, alright, come on, cable, get around them, there we go. So, how do we go about recording DS footage? Alright, come on, camera. How do we go about recording DS footage with this capture card? That's easy. You just put an emulator on a console. Which one? The Wii U would probably be the best console since it actually has Nintendo DS Virtual Console. But unfortunately, I don't have one, so I'm going to show you an alternative method. The Switch. The Switch actually does have a DS emulator. The things you're going to need to mod the Switch. Again, modding the Switch is not like, it's not like the 3DS where you hard mod it, or like, I guess it's technically a software mod, but it's like, it actually like changes files in your system. This just runs off an SD card, the Nintendo Switch modding, and it goes away when you fully power off the system. So it's fairly safe to use. Next, you're going to need, if you want to, yes, you are going to need this if you want to transfer saves, if you're just going to be like pirating games. First of all, I don't condone pirating games. You should use your own cartridges. And for that, you're going to need a custom firmware 3DS. Because, I mean, I don't know why you would want to record DS footage if you're just going to pirate games. So you're going to need a custom firmware 3DS with a TWLSaveTool or homebrew, but I mean, it's easier to just get custom firmware because, I mean, you can update it anyways. TWLSaveTool and God Mode 9 for the firmware that you boot the system into. So, to get started, getting your trim.nds, which is your copy of the game, your legal ripped copy of the game. So I have Soul Silver right here. What we're going to do, pop the game card in the 3DS and power it on. I don't really like, I mean, you can like watch it turn on, but so I actually made a mistake. That's fine. You don't want to power it on. What you want to do is boot into God Mode 9. So all that is you hold start. I'm sorry, I hit the freaking mic again. And hold power. And then you'll see this screen. God Mode 9 or Decrypt, which is my other firmware. Choose God Mode 9. Then go down to Game Cart. You see where it's highlighted Game Cart? Select that. And then scroll, it says .nds, and then, but you don't want NDS. You want trim.nds. So choose trim.nds, select A, and then scroll down to where it says copy to GM9/out. That's what you want to do. So select that, and then power off your system. And take out your SD card, and go to GM9/out, where your ROM is located. I'm not going to do a TWLSaveTool tutorial because it was in my last video, so you can watch that for TWLSaveTool. but that's how you export your ROM. So if we go now, what you want to do is get MelonDS 0.83 for the Switch. Download the zip file. Open it up. And go into the Switch folder. And then these two items. Actually, no. Go back out to MelonDS. And then I'm going to power on my Switch. So I'm going to make this big again. Make it big. Power on your Switch. Make sure it is in custom firmware mode. And boot this up. And open up FTPD. And then grab your file client. So this might take a bit to boot up. Actually, no, it didn't. So I'm going to go over to the client, and then we can make this small again. Bang, bang. Again, this is a console IP. It is not my actual IP. So, nope. And then 149. You want to use FTPD because if you take out the SD card, you have to power down the system and then re-inject the firmware. So here's my stuff. I already have MelonDS, but I'll just show you what you would do. Literally just drag and drop MelonDS into here, into this, to where it says slash, because this is where all your stuff is. So that's what you would do, but I don't need to do that. And then go to your desktop and create a folder called ROMs. Spelled it exactly like this. I freaking... sorry, it just loves to move the files over here. And then create one called... My computer, please. Guess you're just gonna have to bear with me here. You know what? Let's create another file called DS, exactly like this and exactly like that, spelled exactly like that, and put it in the same directory as you put MelonDS. Is this done? Okay, so I'm just gonna delete this. But anyways, you would put the DS folder in here, and then you would put that folder in the ROMs folder and move it to the same directory as MelonDS. And then put your ROMs in here. So go to GM. So put your 3DS SD card in your computer and grab your ROM from. I have like a Soul Silver ROM here. I'm just gonna delete this because I already showed you. Grab the trim that you have and move it over to your Nintendo Switch SD card. So now, once you have moved over your ROM and your save file, locate your save file because this is important. MelonDS is extremely picky about loading its save files. So if you have your backed up save file from TWLSaveTool, it'll be in the TWLSaveTool folder of your 3DS SD card. I showed that in the video. What you need to do is, so your file name is going to be something like this, like Pokemon HG IPKE 01 blah 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 .trim.nds. So you see the .trim.nds. Your save file needs to be called .trim.nds.save. It needs to have the .nds in there, because if it's just .trim.save, MelonDS is very picky and will not load the save. And I figured this out because I just had to save once with MelonDS, and then the file was named .trim.nds.save. So make sure you put in the .nds.save to load your save. So now we can go into the Switch. So let me make this, make it big. There we are. can exit out of FTPD. So, in your menu, just go to your home menu, and then hold R. You want to be holding R, and then boot a game. Just any game that you have. Like here I'm booting Mystery Dungeon. I keep punching my microphone. It's just going to be a daily occurrence. And then boot it up while holding R. And you're going to see you load into Homebrew. And what this does is it loads Homebrew with full RAM so that your Homebrew is now loaded with overclocked kind of RAM, and will prevent any sort of crashing, because MelonDS does tend to be a very demanding emulator for the Switch. So you want to load it with full RAM. Then you're going to see this screen. For profiling, set it to write frame times. There it is, write frame times. For settings, you want to check the overclock and move it to the max, 1785 megahertz. You want to max out the overclock because you want this game running smooth. Max out the block size. Select branch optimizations in this corner. Then go to select ROM. Choose your trim. I'm going to load up Heart Gold because I know I said Soul Silver in the beginning, but I showed you how to do it. And then load that up. And then you're going to see this screen. So there's a bunch of overlays and a bunch of stuff going on. What does it all mean? So with the display settings, you can customize. For example, I'm going to make it horizontal even. So bang, horizontal. Now it's horizontally even, which this is my favorite version, but you can emphasize the top, you can emphasize the bottom. Like if it's Mystery Dungeon, I would probably emphasize the bottom because I don't need to see my team a lot. And then for getting rid of this overlay, because you don't want to see all this while you're playing the game, just hit ZL. And bang, the overlay is gone. And now you're playing your DS on your Switch. And this is your trimmed file with your save. If you've seen any of my streams, you've seen me playing on this ROM, so you know that I've transferred this over. Playing, this is the exact same save for my cart. And look, there I am in the Team Rocket HQ. And just to prove to you that I did transfer this over, I'll pop in my actual Heart Gold cartridge. Pop this into my DS. Give it a quick boot. Come on now. And see, I'm in the Rocket HQ, which is where the same. I must have been playing it. I think I was testing on my 3DS, but there, same exact place, Rocket HQ. And just to be absolutely sure, because I know you guys are kind of saw me like play around with it. Trainer ID 27971. Switch. Trainer ID 27971. So that's how you transfer saves. Now let's show you how to capture them. So it's really simple. It's literally just doing your Elgato. So I'm going to go over to one of my, let's say this scene where I have an Elgato set up here. So I'm just going to drop this in, literally just drop this into my dock because my Elgato is turned on. And you'll see in a second, there it is. There is my DS all set up. So now I can grab my controller. Give me a second. So now I can grab my Pro controller and hook it up. And then bam, we can start playing on our we can start streaming through our Elgato. So there is another way that you can capture DS footage without a DS capture card through your Elgato. So now, one last thing. You can customize this however you want. I'm not gonna be doing an OBS tutorial. Again, you can just use Alt. You can press Alt and then go on these. Well, you can't see OBS right now because this is recording. But again, you can use Alt and edit the window and make this whatever size you want, or use the actual controls in the emulator to emphasize top or bottom screen. I'm literally just doing this to make the tutorial. So that's going to do it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this helped some people out, because I know a lot of people were like frustrated with my PC method. So this is another way to play it on another console and record it. Again, the Wii U would probably be better, but I do not have a Wii U. So this is just another option to get clean DS footage. Now, one thing I do want to say is that when you're saving the game, it gets really slow. Like, you can see the frame rate goes way down. And so it does take a lot to overwrite the save file, but it'll go back to normal as soon as the save's done, so that's not really a big deal. I mean, do you really record yourself saving the game? Maybe a couple of times, but yeah, that's gonna do it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe. Follow my Twitch in the link in the description below, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one.